April 1945. At that time, Nazi Germany was at the end of its tether, with Allied forces advancing towards Berlin from both the east and the west. Many buildings within the city of Berlin had already been turned to rubble from previous bombings and artillery fire. As the Soviet troops were the first to break into Berlin, the fighting in the city became increasingly brutal. The Soviet and German forces engaged in fierce street-to-street combat, fighting desperately for every inch, with battles turning incredibly bloody. During a brief lull in the gunfire, the sound of a child crying suddenly emerged from the rubble in the middle of a street. It was a German child, crying in despair. Caught in the fierce crossfire between the two armies, this child was at risk of losing their life at any moment. In a moment of uncertainty for both sides, an incredible scene unfolded. A young Soviet soldier suddenly stood up and, without any protection, walked straight towards the rubble from where the crying was coming. His comrades quickly understood his intentions. They stopped shooting, aiming their guns forward cautiously, ready to cover him with fire if needed. Unexpectedly, the gunfire from across the street came to an abrupt halt, and the German forces also ceased firing. Under the watchful eyes of countless guns, the Soviet soldier reached the rubble, picked up the child, and slowly walked towards a safe shelter on the side of the street. At that moment, what had been a battlefield filled with the sounds of gunfire and flying bullets fell into an unbelievable silence, leaving only the slow, heavy footsteps of the soldier. The entire street was shrouded in an unimaginable calm. A Soviet war correspondent, sensing the importance of the moment, opportunistically captured this touching scene with his camera. The next day, many leaflets floated down from the skies over Berlin. Printed on the leaflets was a photo of the Soviet soldier Osharov rescuing the German child with the bold message, "Berlin, please stop the gunfire." When the citizens of Berlin saw the leaflet, many were moved to tears. Some German soldiers laid down their arms and emerged from their trenches. Soldier Osharov became a hero. Faced with the media's question, "Why did you dare to stand up in the midst of gunfire?" his answer was, "Love will stop the gunfire."